This is an important message I wanted to share because I'm feeling free, baby. Listen, the average man wants to go on top of a mountain and sit there and build a kingdom with his family safe. Go to work and get guns and ammo and money and cool trinkets to use in their house. And have a feeling that they're more powerful than others. That's just a basis of man, usually. The average. That's the American dream, right? Get exalted, get on top of the mountain, sit there, build a kingdom and family and influence so that you can go down into the basic townspeople. Yeah, this guy couldn't wait 2 seconds. I figured that out early on, and I decided. I reached for the stars and I found the sun, basically. So I decided that I guess my purpose would be, if everybody wants to be a king, and I've already found out what's better than a king, what's above a king, and I live in that world where I don't need any of this. I found that out very early on. I decided that my purpose is probably, I'd rather raise kings, because I found it boring to sit in your house on the mountain, developing a child with all your tools and all your money. It just seems like a simple life path that a lot of people are taking. There's no uniqueness, there's no creativity and independence to be able to go outside of the box and to operate how you want to do. There's no breaking the boundary. There's no expanding on what is. Everyone's just trying to do the same things so that they can do more exclusive things. And I noticed that early on, and I decided that I would make my job on the planet to raise the people that I thought deserved to get to that position, that we're never going to get to that above exalted position that I'm talking about, that are good people and are deserving and are the people that I would promote to that status to influence the community. People I felt deserved to be at that position but had some faults and flaws. I would teach them how to break their flaws, and I would encapsulate them. I would encase them. I would casey them to be in the right position to work themselves out, to raise up and put themselves in that position so that they earn it and they feel satisfied. They don't feel like I ripped it out of them by making it so easy that they wouldn't have to work for, and they wouldn't develop any character or struggle or sophistication or skills. I guided them like a polar bear spirit. I encased their narrative and I moved them to where they're supposed to be. And here's a list of names: North Ave Jax, Kelly Butt Spirito, my homie Mississippi, Caroline, Callie, Garrett, Chloe, Gary, Sam, Ethan Phoenix, Caleb, Jaden, Jonah, Matthew, I want to say Leo, but not Leo. Yeah, that's the big one, is that I'm talking about the God Leo that's operating in all the Leos that you meet and see, what they're tethered to. God's favorite sign. Or at least the one he chose, if they're all equal, the one that he chose to be the center of attention. The fucking baby. Leo. And that God worked through a lot of different people in my life. But basically, as Sagittarius, I chinked the armor and I refined him. And I helped him get to that literal position I'm talking about, that exalted position on the hill where you could grow like a tree and influence the community, where I could raise the sun from the dead like Jesus Christ. That's what I'm talking about. Jacob. I put myself in a position where I channeled the current of emotion in the community, and I sent in the goals of people. I put in Brattleboro the idea that in order to escape and be a better man in Brattleboro, you need to hit the gym, you need to look better, you need to dress nicer, you need to drive the nicer car, you need to do the teachings of Leo, you need to get the luxury, and the teaching of Sagittarius, you need to gain the knowledge and wisdom. And after I set that parameter, everyone in my life of Irish descent and that worked closely with me in local restaurants in my childhood, people that would have grown up with me if we were a tree and stemmed as a branch of my tree I built a relationship with as I kept growing in my narrative life path. Everyone in that narrative life path that I took going from birth to now, everyone that I loved and I connected with, whether they liked it or not, because I'm a running force, took on that identity that my heart created and fought for it with me. They stampeded with me from across the world. I got the node, I got the idea, and I took the first step, I led the charge, and then months later I'm seeing everybody in my wave that spiritually and metaphorically are trailing behind me towards wherever we're headed as I'm wrecking into their wall, upgraded with me. They're now managers, they're now business owners, they're now leaders of men, they're now exalted in high positions, they're now influencing their community. The people that hated me and downed me and denigrated me and hate and just went against my movement, they're now towering over those haters. And that's a fact. And what's funny is all these people in this stampede that are following behind me hate me. And they don't want to hang out with me. Don't I look like a horse? Don't I look a little like an Irish Kai Cenat? Don't I look a little like an Irish Jay-Z? But that's just how I'm feeling. I have a couple enemies that really fucked me up. And what they're telling me, the voices that occasionally come into my head, is that my tests, at least for 2023, were, a lot of my life was to see how far I would take things. But because I made so much impact and momentum in my childhood, going to Mountainside and going to the retreat, and when they put me in I was so pissed that they kept me prisoner in a mental asylum. Yeah, I know, I'm hearing like the ghosts of the dead emotionally coming through to emotionally speak to you. I know Heather's gonna watch this. I don't know if you could tell, but it was someone that passed away. And you could, if you rewind and look at the tone change in that sentence and the way that my eyes moved, I just channeled a dead person right in front of your eyes. But they held me prisoner. And then they put us in they taught us martial arts. And then they put us in soccer against each other. So that's the only time you're allowed to touch people, or else you get locked in isolation for 5 days if you're caught making physical contact with another person in any way, shape, or form. You get isolated and locked away for 5 days if you physically touch another human being in the program that I was at. But of course I was making out with girls and I was getting my thing on, in perfect timing, synchronous with the movement of the automatons and the staff members. When they would move their bodies, I would move my body and get a touch in. But when they put us in the soccer game, I plowed through all these children and just went straight for the goal. I put boots on, and I broke kids' ankles. I broke a bunch of little girls and little boys' ankles to get to my goal. I worked out furiously in the morning to be stronger than everybody in the program. And then when they put us to the soccer game, I just plowed through everybody with my feet. When they would go to kick the ball against me, I would just kick the ball through their leg and break and sprain their fucking ankles to get to the goal, and I would hit it. So what God showed me is that this year was about restraint rather than perseverance. It was about perseverance, but they put the most disrespectful, hurtful, torturous, ripping out my soul in front of me, and then going insane with my spiritual power as I'm just trying to make art like my Irish ancestors, and these Vikings are raping and killing my spirit. You heard me? God's test was to see if I wouldn't kill them. Isn't that beautiful? I wanted respect from the black community, and today I had a dream where someone that I really looked up to, like a leader of the black community, he was sitting in a dark pit of darkness with a little bit of light, and he was cool, but he was in darkness, and he was a king. He was obviously like a leader, chosen one. He wasn't Egyptian. He was like just darkness with light around him that he was controlling to inspire. And basically, like, I got wheeled into his throne room, and they were like, "Is this kid hood? Is this kid hard? Do you respect this kid? Is he a soldier? Is he a warrior?" And it wasn't the legendary version of me. It was the little boy version of me, because we all have different sides of ourselves. That version of me came in, and he looked in my life at that version of me's test, the way when I had that personality and that emotional state. And he saw me getting so angry at the injustice of the world that I went out to murder somebody, and the only thing that stopped me was nature. A skunk walked in front of his tent and guarded his tent to make sure that I would not burn it down with him inside him and then wait for him to leave and then machete him to death, choke him out in front of other homeless people that I knew were too high to do anything, that I would kill. And the only thing that stopped me was two skunks that guarded his tent. And then the guy went, don't get out of there," because he thought that my carefully placed footsteps as I'm creeping through his compound, not touching anything, but I accidentally rustle a leaf. And he goes, "Get out," and then the skunk goes, and the guy goes, "Get out of there." Even though, this fucker took my fucking spot. Go fuck your mother. Vermonters. Speeding away. I'm so cool because I'm fast. Sorry. I'm turning into a hater. It's because we're waiting for the universe to come down and come through. We're in a transitional phase right now where everything's getting dismantled. You feel me? Number 1 is open. Alright. Number 1 is open. And I can't find my food stamp card. My wallet is here. I'm allowed to do... We'll give it 5. I know you guys want to come with me. Don't look at that. Don't look at my pen. But look, you can see there's a gas station. Here's the card. Here's a stranger. Oh, that sun was nice, right? Yeah. No, I like it out here. You gotta get past the initial, I can't call it racism, it's just prejudice. Like that Jiffy Mart down the road will not take my food stamps. And he said it was a statewide issue. My friend, I am from Brattleboro, Vermont. I have this Massachusetts hat because I'm a 33rd degree Freemason. She went, there was a jolly mother, very happy, that was possessed by the devil for a second. She's still trying to attack me. She was possessed by the evilness, and she came up and went, tried to stomp at me. So then I said, no, I like this place. You just got to get past the prejudice. Look at this. I told you we're evolving. The 3D is becoming more 3D and the 5D is becoming more 5D, and we're splitting. The problem I'm having is I feel like I'm getting more and more stuck in the 3D. Oh, what was the point? Yeah. So I have a lot of enemies, but I don't want to kill them. It's so easy to kill them. I don't want to feed their ego, and I don't want to lose more of my power. So what am I supposed to do, man? Am I supposed to let them go after they came at me with a hatchet, ripped the tree apart in front of me, led me deep into the woods and put a knife to my chest, lied to everybody in the area to upset me, and then he made me literally afraid because I didn't have any weapons at the time, and the guy's like 6'5", very skinny. So I say he made me afraid. He didn't make me afraid as much as he made it so I felt hesitant. I felt hesitant to do what I was meant to do. Because I guess my true fear is that if I go and kill someone, all the codes of this simulation break down and I don't get what I came here for. That's what I'm worried about. But either way, I'm almost at my spot, man. I just wanted to share some of that stuff. Maybe it's some cool light codes that enlighten you and inspire you. What does God have to say? Keep going. They want me to go back in DoorDash. Because it adds experience points that the world sees me stomping around like they are, but in a cooler, more draconic way. What else did they say? They're saying it's very, very important. You need to fast. You need to fast. I'm drinking my last sweet drink. I think I'm already out. And I have one slice of pizza and one pizza crust left. And then I'm out of food stamps and I'm out of money. But I have enough for my part, I think, unless I just spent it. I don't think I spent it. I had 11 plus 5 and I just spent 5, so I should have 11 still. I just need a place that I can mail it to now. You heard me? And then I have my part, and then I have a microphone. And if my computer works, then all I have to do is get an inverter. And then I have to figure out a way to creatively cast away the people that have put spells over my consciousness and are hovering over me, trying to influence my creative ability, and siphon all my energy. When I happily trained him, they wanted more because they're greedy, and it's a fault in all of your systems. You need to escape. You need to enlighten yourself, and you need to be able to let the children be children. Because the children understand that we're crazy. Because we've been living in a system designed to hurt us. And the children are not to be taught anything. The most the children are supposed to do is to be emotionally unhindered against pedophilia and gross shit like that, and then guided towards creative practices where they can use their whole body, like sports, like combat, like MMA. Children are supposed to be trained like soldiers, but not emotionally hindered like soldiers. They're supposed to enjoy the love of life, but also be able to fight. I'm talking about put your kid in karate and judo, teach him discipline, but don't rape the kid and don't abuse the kid, you heard? Like, that's what I'm saying. And there's a system designed to do that as subtly as possible to slowly brainwash them over time. So I'm talking like they will sneak into a teacher and then talk through the teacher or you, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Our bodies are portals into this world from the outside world. Something can just come up and tether into you if you're not aware. And that's what I'm saying, is that not a lot of you have been blessed with the awareness to understand. So that's why I'm getting attacked constantly by this force. But my favorite thing to do is go drive through the public and get pissed off at the emotional attacks that I'm getting. Meanwhile, I put myself right in the middle of the highway, right in the middle of the street. Alright, the MK Ultra guy that came here earlier and swerved at me is gone. As I was talking to God and having an emotional breakthrough. I need to shut up, but the energy's so heightened, I feel like I should at least contribute somehow. Here we are, guys. Thank you for watching. We've made it to my spot. I hope this did something for you. I hope it nickered your britches a little bit.